Forged from the love of liberty in the fires of hope and prayer, with boundless faith in our destiny, we solemnly declare. Side by side we stand, islands of the blue Caribbean Sea, this our native land. We pledge our lives to thee. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation.
Heavenly Father, we come before you at the start of this new day, giving thanks for life, for health, and the opportunity to serve through this station. We ask for your divine presence to guide us in all we do. Bless this broadcast, that it may be a source of inspiration, joy, and unity to all who tune in. Whether near or far, may our words uplift, our music heal, and our message bring light to those who need it most. We pray for our listeners, wherever they may be. Grant them strength for the day ahead, peace in their hearts, and success in all they put their hands to. Cover those traveling with your protection, and those at home with your comfort and provision. Lord, may everything we do bring honor to you and be a blessing to others. Guide our steps, bless our efforts, and let this station be a vessel of positivity and hope. In your name we pray. Amen.
Your voice, your soundtrack, your station. New Era TT Radio, NETT Radio.
I let me go. We on the bacchanal, we on the bacchanal, we on the bacchanal. Yeah. We on the bacchanal, we on the bacchanal, we on the bacchanal. That's where we want to be. We on the bacchanal, we on the bacchanal. We need something to take we away from all this pain. We on the bacchanal. We need something to take we over and give we hope again. It's too much bacchanal, too much lying every day. It's too much misinformation everywhere. It's too much oh barman, you can't tell right from wrong. It's too much might is right, it's too much wrong and strong. That's why we want to be beyond the bacchanal. That's why we need to be beyond the bacchanal. That's where we want to be. Beyond the bacchanal. That's where we need to be. Beyond the bacchanal. In Parliament they kicks in, while plenty people suffering. In Parliament they kicks in, melting to cry we laughing. But in Parliament they kicks in, nothing in the country walking. In Parliament they kicks in, something to save we from all this madness. Beyond the bacchanal, we need something to save we, Father, save we from sinking into sadness. It's too much bacchanal, it's too much madness, too much gladness every day. Too much madness every day on full display. Too much bad mind and backbite. That's why we need to be beyond the bacchanal. That's why we want to be beyond the bacchanal. That's where we need to be beyond the bacchanal. In Parliament they kicks in, while plenty people suffering. In Parliament they kicks in, real thing to cry they laughing. In Parliament they kicks in, nothing in the country walking. In Parliament they kicks in, bombs and the guns and the warships close. Jah, I beg you keep me close at this time. In the world it's too much fussing and fighting. It's dog eat dog and nobody uniting. Drones, helicopters and bombers flying, and we catching all we leaders lying. Jah, show me the sign, just give me the light. And for the children's sake, help me cut the blame. In Parliament they kicks in, while plenty people suffering. In Parliament they kicks in, they'll think to cry laughing. In Parliament they kicks in, nothing in the country walking. But in Parliament they kicks in, beyond the bacchanal. That's why we need to be beyond the bacchanal.
Wake up, rise up. It's the NETT Radio Breakfast Show, bringing you the energy, music, and vibes to start your day right.
That's where we want to be.
Yeah, we gotta be. We have to be. We have to move beyond the bacchanal.
Beyond the bacchanal.
Good morning, Trinidad. Good morning to Tobago. How are you people doing?
Beyond the bacchanal.
Never a dull moment, I tell you.
Beyond the bacchanal.
Good morning to our neighbors in the Caribbean, our friends who are streaming all around the globe. Good day to you, and of course, I thank you
That's why we need to
for choosing and making us your choice each and every day.
That's where we want
It is New Era TT Radio, NETT Radio, the heartbeat of the Caribbean. Yes, we are.
to be beyond the bacchanal.
Of course, we're going to take you above and beyond.
Beyond the bacchanal.
As always, I want to say much thanks to the Heavenly Father for bringing us together for another day. All that we do, dear God, I ask that it be a blessing, honor to you.
We need to be beyond the bacchanal.
People are through St. Charles, check it in. Happy am I to be in this space.
That's
I'm
why
even a little more happier, you know what?
beyond the bacchanal.
Because this is your Get Up and Go. Welcome to the Breakfast Show.
Get up, it's the time to start the day. The breakfast show is here. We bring in the soca way. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The breakfast show got the vibes turned on. From Morocco's Bay to the Savannah line. Let's start the day in Caribbean prime. Good vibes rolling through the air. The breakfast show, energy everywhere. We talk, we laugh, we make you think. Grab your doubles or your morning drink.
Oh yeah, so we are here. I tell you, that song just perks me up. That is like my morning coffee. That song, yeah, just gets me going in the morning. So good morning to everybody tuning in, turning on, logging on. Thank you very much for being here this morning. And of course, let me say much thanks and good morning to my co-host, Wendell, who is here always early, and of course, Richard, who is going to join us at some point in time. Yeah, I see them.
Yeah, he's somewhere there. Little King in the background. Good morning, St. Charles. Morning, Richard. Morning, Trinidad and Tobago. And good morning, listeners and viewers all over the globe. It's not a rainy one Tuesday morning so far. I think there was a shower rain sometime early morning. I heard rain because it's like a common thing now in the East. You get a hard shower some early morning and wakes you up, and that's it. No more sleep. But we're here. We're happy to be in the land of the living. Happy birthday to Melissa. Melissa Stanislaus is celebrating her birthday today. Crazy woman, Melissa. Remember Melissa, Sir Charles?
Stanislaus?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Of course, I can't forget Melissa. Melissa's my sweetheart. She's my darling.
Yeah. Melissa is celebrating her birthday today. Happy birthday, Melissa. Where's Melissa now?
I forget Mel. I think she works kind of cross networks too.
Okay.
Yeah, so while she's doing thing, I think she's also working at some of the other media house doing some stuff and then.
Yeah. Morning, Melissa. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Mel. Happy
Today is also the birthday of Ronald Ho, Natasha Wilson Jean. I think we know her. This looks like my neighbor, Janelle. Well, the name is in reverse on Facebook, but I think it's my name. Janelle Lara Agard. Happy birthday. Reginald, I think that's your wife, isn't that her name? I never knew, you know. Nasrun Mohammed, Kelvin Dyer, Patricia Batiste, Marlon Williams, and Delano Henry. How Delano, how are you going? I think you're still with us. I know you were with us in the previous dispensation. Happy birthday, Delano. And Amy Kwaku. How long I haven't seen a name like that. They are all celebrating birthdays today. And anyone else celebrating a birthday today, March 17th, have an absolutely fantastic day, especially if you're an immigration officer. If you're an immigration officer celebrating birthday. You have to come on just then, eh?
Well, what is this about immigration officers?
We just love them. We just love immigration officers.
Yeah. Apparently, so like the both of you, both of you had a hearty laugh with this thing about immigration officers. So
immigration officers are probably the best public officers there are in the country.
Remember, I've always said whenever I come in.
Really? They're not. Anyhow, okay.
No, remember, I've always said I've always had great encounters with immigration officers.
You have said that.
I've never had a problem. People have reported they've had issues, but I've never had an issue.
Yeah, they've always been very pleasant, you said. Yeah. I just want to say a big kiss out. Mwah, Melissa. Happy birthday.
See that? Melissa had a good cause. Melissa posted something the other day on Facebook. I said, Gail, what is wrong with you? Do you see this is not from Trinidad? She said, oh, good. Because that's happening a lot now on social media. I don't know if people realize that, especially on Facebook. A lot of people are posting stuff first beginning from years ago. Because when you go into the actual video,
sometimes they're doing that. I'm seeing that too.
Yes, and almost like if it now happened, some crime or some kind of thing, some accident, and when you click on the actual video, you see it's 5 years ago, 2 years ago, 7 years ago. I said, my God.
Yeah. Some people don't take time to check anything also too, as they get it, they just share it.
Yeah. And then they're also sharing stuff from outside other islands because there are people, people all over the world on Facebook, eh? And sometimes you see it in here and you say, well, wait, that's not Trinidad. First, you look at the car, that's not a Trinidad number plate. The other day they were sharing something about deputy commissioner. I said, we have a deputy commissioner named Shade? No. But they're sharing it as if it's news here.
Yeah. People just love to share stuff. The other day they were sharing something on WhatsApp with Ministry of Home Affairs. I said, we don't have a Home Affairs.
Yeah.
So people not even checking to see, do we have that?
Yeah.
No. Well, I guess it's all part of the internet world, the www world. You have to get accustomed to these kind of things. And AI, oh Lord, AI is the demon.
Yeah.
AI is a demon when it's ready. I should say when it's ready.
We should try and get, I just said that we should try and get back the AI guy that we spoke to last time.
Yes, that was
it's making serious advancements now.
Yeah. There was some guy I was trying to reach out to, I think I have his name recorded somewhere, an American guy who talks on like CNN and MSNBC and stuff. But yeah, he's considered one of the founding original scientists at the beginning of the creation of moving into AI. So he's very knowledgeable. So I've taken on his name. Of course, he's a university professor, I think. And so I thought it would be interesting to speak with him.
All right.
I took down his name and I looked at his credentials at which university he was, and I was to contact him. I haven't done it yet, so I'll try and reach out to him.
Of course, today our guest will be Ephraim Serrette, president of the NAAATT. He's going to talk a little bit about athletics and the challenges and successes that they've had. Of course, he was a former national runner, and we're gonna chat with him in the next hour, and see how best we could get some help for the NAAATT if you all are so minded. But guys, you all didn't tell me the radar is no longer in Tobago. The radar has been removed.
But I saw it on news last night. That was gone.
But they didn't even have a video when it was being removed. When was it removed? Nobody in Mako that and see when they're taking it down?
I don't know. Maybe they just press a button and just lie flat and disappear.
It's go up like a transformer. It's come back down into something like a transformer.
But then I suppose it will go back like this, and probably goes automatically flat, and then maybe it even packs itself. I don't know.
It's a little briefcase, and they never walk off with it.
But yeah, I don't know. But obviously, it has to be something like that. There has to be some automation in the process.
That's interesting. And nobody has said anything.
Well, there was something that saying. Remember, wasn't it the chief secretary that said that the U.S. troops in Trinidad and Tobago specifically were leaving or something like that?
Well, a few of them went, they leave and come Trinidad because they were in El Pecos yesterday. A few of them came in El Pecos yesterday to buy food.
So I don't know. I don't know if it's being redeployed maybe somewhere in Trinidad. I don't know. If it's just gone specifically, it's out of the area. I don't know. Because I don't know how much they see the Venezuelan situation as still being concerning, because there is no real update of whether the US warships are still in the area. We don't know.
No.
And certainly the bombing of boats has subsided.
It's done.
So you're not sure if the presence is still there. I assume maybe they left one or two still in the area to monitor stuff. But of course, the Trump administration is now very preoccupied with Iran and what they're dealing with in Iran. And of course, the decision to go to war with Iran is,
So all of a sudden, Venezuela has no more drug lords. They have no more drug boats. They have no more fentanyl. They have no more cartels. That's it. They're done, right? We don't have a problem either, because the radar wasn't all about Venezuela. It was about assisting us too. We don't have a problem again, right? Between Trinidad and Tobago, all our problems are now solved. No more. We don't need a radar again, right?
I assume that's a rhetorical question.
No, I thought I'm asking you.
I wouldn't know.
Asking you on Sir Charles.
Why are you asking me and everybody never wants radar and didn't want radar? All who didn't want radar, everybody's supposed to be singing Kumbaya now. All who didn't want radar and thought radar was making us stagnate and all kind of thing. Well, people say, well, then what is radar? Back with radar, it's $3 billion a day it's costing us to be in Trinidad.
Maybe they need a radar for out there in the war in Iran.
Well, I assume they have more than one. Let's start there. I don't think they only have one, and it was in Tobago. So we will see how it plays out. As I said, you don't know if it's being redeployed somewhere else. I don't know. Is it $3 billion a day it costs that for that to be here?
I didn't believe that. I remember somebody said that, but I didn't believe that.
3 billion TT.
I
No, they
didn't
said it was
believe
3
that
million
time.
US or something like that, and it was causing to run the radar.
How is
That's
that possible?
I don't know
yeah.
how it's possible, but that is the figure that we saw.
Yeah,
That was put there on our local media.
yeah, I think that was just mischievousness. All right. Anyway, let's get into good news, guys, and then we'll get into the chat and, of course, take a few calls. And you know the thing, you know the drill.
Okay.
This is the side of Trinidad they do highlight on the media. This morning, I was on my way to town and I didn't have change. All I had was $100. Now that time of the morning, obviously the driver wouldn't have no money, right? No change, because he knows that. So I was asking all the passengers if they had change. Everybody was like, no, change for 100, that is. And then a lady said, ask the driver. Of course, like, why didn't I think of that? In fact, I did, but I know he wouldn't have change, so I didn't ask him. After asking everybody, finally, I say, you know what, let me ask the driver. Of course he said no, because it was too early in the morning anyways. And in my mind I was like, I just stood quiet and I stopped asking everybody, and I was like, how I go and pay this driver, boy? How I go and tell this driver that I have no other money? Boom, now, about a minute later, the lady who told me ask the driver gave me $2, a fella gave me $3, and then somebody in the back gave me $2. The fare was $6 to get to where I was going to. And in total, everybody gave me $7. So I was able to get to where I needed to get to. And it just made me think to myself, Trinidad, even though there's a lot of negative happening, there's still a lot of good that happens that goes unnoticed and unspoken of and undocumented. So I just wanted to share my experience of goodness and kindness in Trinidad and provide a positive, a more alternative perspective, you know, and I hope that we could keep one act of kindness at a time and being our brother's keeper, that we could keep the narrative ongoing and make Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean even and the world a better place, one act of kindness at a time.
Wow. Nice, good news. Nice, good news segment there.
Yeah.
You know, before we also get into the chat, let me also say a special greeting to the customs officers down at Point Lisas port, where a friend of mine went yesterday, and he understood. Somebody greeted him. He was being held by someone, and the person said, "Oh, you're the person who has been here, in name here, and calling on the breakfast show." He said, yes. So apparently these guys down there listen to us. These customs officers also listen to us down in Point Lisa. So a special good morning to the customs officers. He didn't give me a name, but the customs officer who greeted him down at Point Lisa's port, who listened to us on the breakfast show. All right? Special good morning to you. And the customs officers all over, because I know a few well who also listen to us. All right? Special good morning to you. Right.
We also work very hard. There's a work on sector group, that another group that works very hard.
But
even though, of course, I do think that the whole entry process from the airport should be modernized in alignment with a lot of the other countries, where you can just walk out and you only do random. Or if you have concerning from the intelligence that you choose who you search. But from the intelligence provided, or what was scanned, etc.
Yeah.
But they are hardworking because they're part of the security infrastructure.
They are.
Yeah, in terms of trying to keep you safe and stuff. So
yeah.
And they're not
Beefy, you ready, Richard? Beefy Smith came in first at 12:03. I think he's the one from Goodwood, Tobago. I think I may have called somebody else that. Margaret Thomas, blessed Tuesday, guys. Valerie Mendoza also says good morning. Manuela Peters, Eunice Dublin, Odell Guy, Robert Allen, Erica Charles, Boy Bidesi, Felix Kazo, Diane Payne, Marcia Rock, Norris Ferguson, Kenny and Harlem. Scorpion Pepper is up early today. Ozzy Molino, Pamela O'Connor. Blessed morning. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us be glad and rejoice in it. She's from Palo Seco. Katia Charles and Arlene in Bronxville, Texas. Carol Guevara, Gavin Frank, Dave Gosain, Sherwin and Juliet Kerr, Cheryl Maraj, Marlon Motley, Debbie Modest, Ingrid from Tucson, Arizona, Wayne Ramsey, Joyce Phillip, Elizabeth, that's Suzette Jessup, I think. And it's coming from Suzanne, Suzette, and Mrs. Gemma. Chris Toussaint says, Grand Rising, I'm still here in cold Washington, D.C. Temperatures dropped 30 degrees from yesterday. Wow. Alistair Hart, Helen Prescott, Shoma Paul, Mrs. R is up early today. David McCarthy.
Morning, Mrs. R.
Sankofa, Crystal Stevenson, Robert Taylor, Julia Samantha, Miss News Darling. What is that Mrs. R saying? Nicola McNichols, good morning. Carla Hercules, Trini Merle Kitchen, Margarita Chow, Kurt Hope, Carlisle Cupid, Rena Jennings, Prabha Ramdial, Finbar Collins said the ships are not in the area. USS Gerald Ford left 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I read that one.
Yeah, that was only one.
Yeah, but we haven't heard about any of the others. But you're really not seeing any images or hearing any news coming out of our immediate area. Nadia Stevens says, good morning. Kim Govaya, Chris Toussaint, most of the U.S. Navy has gone to Iran. After they finish with Iran, they head into Cuba. All right, Chris Trump. Bernadette and Nelicia Yates, Apollina, Scarlet Cupid, Richard, preoccupied with Iran is the understatement of the year. Donald Trump's head real hot. Charmaine Bernard, Claire Lendo Rollins, Trump begging for help from NATO. That's Rena Jennings saying that. I think that is true. Iran war costing $9.1 million per day. Wow. Alistair Hart, blessings. TNT sweet too bad. Kim Govaya, yes, the radar came down. Farley made a statement and another member of the opposition also commented. It was also featured in the news last night. Yeah, we know that now. The radar has left because we are now a zone of peace. That's a sarcastic comment from Sport.
I love that. That's a nice one.
Carla Hercules, I hope that she pays it forward. Oh, that's really good news. David Wares, this is probably the best video on kindness shared here. Thank you for this. You're welcome. Maria Celia, morning, guys. Kim Govaya, it's obvious that the radar was not just a serious drug-related crime. That's for sure. Lester Cragwell, good morning, guys. After listening to the address interview from President Trump, it is clear he doesn't have the mental faculties to stay the entire term. But we'll see. Magic says Grand Rising, and Chris Toussaint, Trump announced yesterday that Cuba is next. And when is Greenland? And where's the other one again? Canada. Is he still interested in Canada and Greenland?
All right, so let me say good morning to Peter Wilson, who was here very early this morning. Also to Kent in Laventille, good day. Mava, good morning to you. Archbishop Ashton Clark, good day. Carlin and Kelly out in Carnage. Brenda in Pinal. Frank in Aruka. Charmaine in New York. Rena Budo Jennings, good morning to you.
When they say Charmaine, people don't know English.
CJ. Yeah, I had to change that in my phone then. Yeah. So, Salty Menti, good morning to you. Mr. Beeps, good morning. And of course, Zena is up very early here. I'll be saying good morning to the Anthem crew, all the people that come in just before 6 o'clock. It's just that the graphs start to spread all over the place. So we thank you very much. And our friends who are on Gaia Caribbean TV. So we're going for that break and we will be back. It is now 29 minutes past the hour of 6 o'clock.
TNT, get ready for Kirk Franklin in concert. Prisoners No More. We meet at the Queen's Park Oval on March 21st for an unforgettable evening of revival and renewal with Kirk Franklin and his full band. And Trinbago's top gospel artists, Jaron Nurse, Gates Praise, Blessed Messenger, St. Anthony's Music Ministry, and Darren Sandy. Early bird tickets are sold out. General, kids, VIP, group, and cabana tickets available at excesstix.com. Hacker restaurants nationwide, Maranatha bookstores, Living Water Community, Santa Rosa Bookshop, Arima, St. Anthony's, RC Church, Point Fortin, Sky 99.5 FM, CNC3, and the Big Board Company are the official media partners. Endorsed by Catholic TT and the Ministry of Culture and Community Development. Kirk Franklin is coming to TNT.
Now, due to phenomenal public demand, Scandal in Cedrus now comes to Cipriani College for 2 nights only. Saturday the 28th of March at 8:30 p.m. and Sunday the 29th at 6:30 p.m. This is theater at its finest and funniest. Don't miss it. Box office opens at Cipriani College on Monday the 23rd of March, 12 noon to 6 p.m. daily. Tickets available now at usual outlets and online. Scandal in Cedrus, Cipriani College. We come in.
Scandal in Cedrus.
Save more now at Furniture Plus. Get a pair of pillows for only $49, queen mattresses from $7.99, free gifts with select purchases, plus extra discounts on higher purchase plans. Hurry, visit any Furniture Plus showroom today.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
Cipriani Labor College, get ready for
Two Fat Fellas.
Saturday the 21st and Sunday the 22nd of March.
Cipriani Labor College, 2 nights only.
Two Fat Fellas stars, Cecilia, Penny, Kevon, Zachary, Rachel, and Rody.
Tickets available at Dorman Shoe Store, Long Circular Mall, Anthony's Floral, Valpa, Electronics Arima, K-Square Stores, Eastgate Mall, Brentwood Plaza, C3 Center, and the Falls at West Mall. CLR box office opens on the 19th of March. And islandetickets.com. For more info, call 683-4843 or 683-0356.
Two Fat Fellas.
Advertise with us on New Era TT Radio, the fastest growing streaming platform for talk in Trinidad and Tobago. Audio and video ads welcome. Elevate your brand with us. Connect with us at newerattradio@yahoo.com or call us at 299-5156. Now what are you waiting for?
Okay, so we are back on the inside after the commercial break, and we are here. Newspapers this morning, guys.
Yeah, we just have a couple more people join us on the chat. Larry Charles, Eva Smith, Claudette Ned, and it's St. Patrick's Day. Is it St. Patrick's Day today? Oh, yes, it is. That's the day people wear green, right? Empress Reyes Lal also saying good morning. I'm listening and to the announcing Kirk Franklin coming to Trinidad. Okay, all right, Empress Reyes.
That's this weekend.
Yeah. And as I speak, that rain, heavy rain come down in Arima here, yes? I don't know if it's falling up by you, Richard.
No.
It's pouring rain here by me.
No, not yet.
All right, let's get into the newspapers. Today is March.
I think demons in your area, you know, it is that kind of wash down that area hard, you know.
And often.
You know, most of the people who live in my area listen to this show. You're saying they are demons? Is that what you suggested?
I wasn't clear.
Well, then it had to go Marval too.
Yeah.
Well, leave it and go straight Marval.
It's the best area, yes.
Saddle Road in particular.
What are you talking about? Kind of thing in court this morning. Immigration officer so, Maraval so.
As long as they don't fall where any immigration officers are, we want them all to go to work today in peace and so, right? Morning immigration officers, wherever you are, especially the senior ones, right? Or you can reach out to me later, right? I have something I want done. Well, Richard and I need favors done, actually. Who's the head of immigration now, Richard?
Isn't it Harry Koo? I think I'm Mr. Harry Koo.
A special good morning to Mr. Harry Koo, Chief Immigration Officer. Absolutely special. If anybody knows him, let us know. All right? We want to speak, we want to chat with him. Autopsy reveals Ariana's cause of death. That's one of the main stories in today's Express Online. Of course, she died from apparently heart complications. Terms that you would have only heard on Good Doctor. She died from all of those terms. And apparently, the father is not happy. All right. UK kicks out Trini refugees, and there's a story that Paul Richard sent to me. Hundreds of Trinidad and Tobago nationals apparently have been sent back home in the last couple of months. Over 700 Trinidad and Tobago nationals who applied for asylum in the United Kingdom have been sent back home. That's a serious story. Also trending in the news, Cayman found nibbling on body in pond. $62 million fishing complex sitting empty. I think that's the fishing complex down in Grand Chimay, Moruga. Police detained 54 in Columbia prostitution ring. Where my story's gone. Cocorite shooting. 21-year-old dies near home. That happened in Cocorite yesterday, I think in the Powder Magazine area. And Bloody Sunday, 3 gunned down in 6 hours in Port of Spain. So that ties in with the news somebody sent on the chat yesterday that there were 2 killings in Laventille that wasn't actually in the newspaper, but it's now in the news. All right. So those are some of the trending stories in today's Express Online.
All right, the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian. U.S. backs up radar airport site cleared 4 months after military asset was installed to assist TNT with narco and human trafficking surveillance. Mixed reactions from Tobagonians. PNM concerned about lack of transparency on radar. Contractors quizzed before Guerra's death. Guerra's family continuing lawsuit against state despite his murder. Analysts, prolonged war could devastate living standards in Trinidad and Tobago. The war waged by the United States and Israel against Iran could negatively impact living standards in Trinidad and Tobago, as it could result in higher food prices, increases in the price of gasoline, and possibly an erosion of the country's foreign reserves. This is what some analysts are saying. Well, they have Mariano Brown picture, so that's what he's saying. But they're saying analysts. So I don't know why they went there, but they went there. Plummetan women growing roots in agriculture. TNT's retail expanding. Bagshot Park comes to life. Icon Plaza aims to rise. Kamla, TNT and US talking Veni Energy Corporation, and NGC signs gas contract with ammonia company. So that's some of the stories in the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian today, Tuesday.
Okay, so you know, you guys, let's do what did you know, because it's a little long this morning, but let's see if we can get it in before we get into these stories.
Most people think wealth is simple. You are either rich or you are poor. But real wealth has levels. And just like power, each level changes how you live, how you think, and how the world treats you. Let me show you how it really works. Level 1 is survival wealth. At this level, money is about basic needs: rent, food, bills, transport. You are not building assets, you are trying to stay afloat. According to global data, nearly half of the world lives on less than $6.85 per day. Even in developed countries, millions of people live paycheck to paycheck. In the United States, surveys show that around 60% of adults would struggle to cover an unexpected $1,000 expense. At this level, money controls you. One emergency can destroy years of stability. Your time is sold hour by hour. If you stop working, income stops. Level 2 is stability wealth. You can finally breathe in this level. You have savings, maybe 3 to 6 months of expenses. You can handle emergencies. You are not panicking every time your phone rings. This is where the middle class lives. In the United States, the median household net worth is around $192,000, but most of that is tied to home equity. Liquid savings are often much lower. You still trade time for money. You still depend on a salary, but you are not in constant survival mode. You can always plan. Level 3 is asset wealth. This is where things change. You do not just earn money, your money earns money. You own stocks, real estate, businesses, and investments. Globally, the top 10% own around 76% of total wealth. That gap exists because assets compound. If you earn $100,000 a year from a job, you are stable. If your investments generate $100,000 a year without your daily effort, you are free. At this level, you start buying time. You can step away from work and income continues. Your investments work even when you are sleeping. Vacations no longer mean lost income, and for the first time, your calendar belongs more to you than to your employer. Level 4 is capital control. Now we are talking about some serious money. At this level, you do not just own assets. You influence markets. You fund companies. You shape entire industries. Think about people like Warren Buffett. When he invests in a company, the stock price moves instantly. Or Elon Musk. A single decision from him can shift the electric vehicle market, the space industry, or even social media platforms. These individuals do not just participate in markets. They shape them. There are roughly 2,800 billionaires in the world today. Together they control over $14 trillion in wealth. That is more than the GDP of most countries. At this level, wealth protects itself. You gain access to elite investment deals before the public ever hears about them. You have direct lines to policymakers. You move inside private networks where billion-dollar decisions are made quietly. Money at this level is no longer about comfort or lifestyle. It is about leverage, influence, and the ability to bend markets in your direction. Level 5 is system wealth. This is the highest level. This is when wealth shapes laws, policies, and global systems. Take firms like BlackRock and Vanguard Group. These are not just big companies. They manage trillions of dollars on behalf of pension funds, retirement accounts, governments, and institutions. BlackRock alone manages over $9 trillion, while Vanguard manages over $7 trillion. That's around 53% of USA's GDP. That means they hold significant stakes in major banks, tech giants, energy companies, pharmaceutical firms, weapon manufacturers, and media corporations. These firms are deeply connected to regulators and policymakers. Government consults with them, central banks coordinate with them, and financial stability discussions include them. This is not just market influence, this is structural presence. At level 4, a billionaire controls capital. At level 5, institutions influence how capital flows everywhere. The power here is quieter and less visible, and it does not come from speeches or headlines. Level 5 is not about being the richest person in the room. It is about being part of the machinery that moves the entire room. Now, the most uncomfortable truth is that most people spend their entire lives fighting at level 1 and level 2. A smaller group lives at level 3, an even smaller group operates at level 4, and a tiny elite influences and control the whole world at level 5. The difference between levels is not just numbers in a bank account. It is control over time, risk, opportunity, and sometimes over the rules themselves. So what level of wealth you are currently in, and which level are you aiming for?
I ain't near hundreds or thousands there, so it's billions and trillions and
well, that means you missed the first couple levels. Yeah, the first level 1 and level 2, where most people are at.
Yeah, level 1 and level 2 is where most people are.
You were shooting at level 3 to 5 in that area there. Yeah. And if you want the good news and the did you know you can check it out on our YouTube channel, right, people?
Oh, you mean if people want the
If you want to go back and check it out, and just you can check them out on our YouTube channel.
All right, good, because sometimes some people ask me for those videos, huh?
Yeah.
All right, good. So, well, we can take a couple calls from our listeners, and of course, we will have our poll come up in a bit. And don't forget, in the next hour, we will have as our guest president of the entry is Ephraim Serrette. He'll be our guest in the next hour, so you'll want to listen to that. And then and there's so many stories are coming just fast and furious these days, you know. But I want to advise politicians, because all politicians, past and present, sorry, you know, I don't watch much TV, right? And I certainly don't watch much series. So every now and then somebody's inveigled to watching something, right? And our partner inveigled to watching Anatomy of a Scandal. Have you ever seen that, Richard?
I think I did. Yeah.
On Netflix. All politicians should watch it.
Isn't that British series? Is it?
It's British, yes.
Yeah.
It's British. Watch Anatomy of a Scandal. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's a court matter, right? Basically, right? But it's all politicians, past and present, should watch it. You know, or anybody in how I should put it, in a position of authority, you know, should watch it. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. So thanks to the person who encouraged me to watch it. He make me start to watch some strip, and it's called Queen of the South. I never see so much rubbish yet. I just stopped that. But
a lot of people watch that. I haven't watched that one yet, but I know a lot of people watch it.
Queen of the South?
Yeah.
Nah, that is rubbish.
All right, so our calls have started, so let's take them and we'll chat in between. Caller, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, boy. Again early.
Yeah, glad that you get in early. Yeah.
Well, you surprised me, boy. And I know I was getting problem with the TV, you know.
Yeah. I hear you wake up voice, you know, girl.
Yeah, but I tell you, I know I was getting problem with TV. I just pushed it, pull up, and all kind of thing. And I get anyhow, good morning, everybody.
Morning, Mr.
Charles. Wendell, my brother, how you going, brother?
I'm good.
Right. Well, but I just watching with the high, with all the, which part all the money man is. I was aiming for the top one, but boy, I can't make it at all, boy.
Don't give up.
Well, at this stage, I don't pull back in, boy. Well, with the country and Iran, I watched that last night. Trump begging for help. Well, so many people say he didn't think it out what he was doing before. He went into something and he ready. So, and he trusted NATO.
Yeah.
All again help for 40 years. Yeah. So now we knowing he will stand and it says for a long time. You know? I said they would do and push and mash your own gun. Thing. Boy, it ain't easy.
Yeah. You know what's amazing? Yeah. Thanks, Mr. Grant.
Thanks, Mr. Grant.
A caller to our show the other day hinted that is probably why, you remember, I don't know if you remember this call, that's probably why he involving kind of partnering with Trinidad and Tobago so that he could use our people, our troops to go on the front line for him. And somebody had shut it down and say, what rubbish you're talking, that can never be. Well, you see what how he's threatening NATO? Because he wants people to fight his war. He wants help now to fight his war, the war he get involved in through Israel. I don't discount nothing with that man. Something is wrong with that man.
Caller, good morning. Let me just try somebody else. That caller just disappeared on me.
Yeah, so you can call 281-1315, 281-1315, or 299-5156 on this Tuesday morning.
Caller, good morning.
Hi, good morning. Good morning, Sir Charles.
Good morning, Miss Arima.
Good morning, Richard and Wendell.
Morning.
This morning, I'm calling on Wassa this morning in Tragarit Road there, opposite right by appliances store. I don't want to call the name of the appliances store. It have a raw sewage overflowing at the side of the road. Wassa, get out from under the chairs and go on that job. It smells awful and it looks real stink. Go and clean up the place. The place already in a mess. This is my message this morning in Tragarit Road, opposite an appliances store. I don't want to say the name of it.
Right.
A little way after the appliances store in the crossroad there.
Right.
Oh God, it is on. I don't know how to put it. It smells so awful. It needs cleaning up.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Miss Arima, thanks so much.
Thanks. On Tragarit Road, that's in Port of Spain you're talking about?
Adabi?
I don't know any appliance store in Tragarit Road.
That's why I beat in my head with it. Well, because I drive Tragarit Road. I drove along Tragarit Road yesterday from Roxy Roundabout straight up to Cipriani Boulevard. I drove. So I don't know. I didn't pick up any issue. I don't know. I can't. Maybe she needs to be a little more. Maybe she could send it as a message, exactly where it is, directly to Sir Charles, so we could work on that. Also, Wassa, St. Augustine Hill in St. Augustine, of course, has had no water for a while. So says Sankofa. I saw that earlier in the chat. Then. Right, SOS, no water since the rainy season in St. Augustine Hill. All right, that's Santa Margarita Hill, if I remember carefully. No water up there. All right, Wassa. But Wassa has been fixing a lot of leaks in Port of Spain lately. Well, in St. James, there were leaks along Mokorapa Road that I saw that they finally fixed. They were there for a long time. Of course, the leak fixed, but the road is now a pothole still, right? But they've been fixing a lot of leaks in town lately, you know?
All right, look, Miss Arima is back to give you exactly where the place is. Miss Arima?
Yes. After you pass Green Corner going up, it have a funeral agency.
All right. I know exactly where you're talking about now.
A little way up.
Okay.
But
By lowest appliances.
It's not the appliances store it's responsible for that. A little way after the appliances store, that is what's going on there in the road.
Okay.
Right.
Now to the point what you're talking about. Thank you very much.
Because some people confirm this up by lowest appliances.
It's a traffic light there.
Yeah, it's up at the top there, up at the top of Tragarit Road.
Yeah.
That will be between Richmond and Green Corner. Between Richmond Street and Green Corner. Or Dundonald Street and Green Corner.
Yeah, Dundonald becomes Richmond.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's up there. Yeah.
So what's up?
Right by the funeral home.
Yeah, a little after the funeral home, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So what's up? You have some work to do in that area.
So people, the lines are open to you. We can take your calls this morning. I don't know where you all are this morning, but yeah, give us a shout. All right.
Yeah. What else? Oh, also, let me take this opportunity to reach out. As I say, I have a personal issue I need help with at immigration. No, it's not about an immigrant coming in or anybody get sent back or anybody want to leave. I have another issue that it's an unusual issue that I need help with in immigration. I literally need a passport tomorrow morning. That's what I need. A renewed passport. My passport is not yet expired, but I need it renewed. Right?
Yeah.
If any immigration officer is listening and could assist in getting a speedy, because there's something called an expedited passport, but we found out yesterday it's only after you get your appointment. You could pay to have your passport expedited, but you don't get the expedited appointment. You understand? And appointments are all the way down in August now. When you check all the different venues, it's all the way in August. The closest one is Tobago in July.
I thought you could have, I don't know why I felt you could have just walked in, you know.
People are saying that, but I don't want to take that chance. I don't
know why. I think you could walk in, but maybe you can't anymore. I don't know.
Because there's an appointment process. Maybe they accommodate sometimes, but I don't want to take that chance, you know, because if I could do it, I could try, and if I have to, I will, you know, just walk in and try, but...
All right, hold right 1 minute there. Guys, caller, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. Norfolk, Virginia, front and center.
Morning, Virginia.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you.
Go ahead, Virginia.
Oh, sorry.
We got you.
Yeah, sorry. I'm stuck here in Ohio. Crazy weather out here. Hey, I want to find out. Ephraim Serret, that's the former TNT Olympian, right?
Yes.
Your guest this morning. Okay, yeah. I think we were both schoolmates at Nelson Street Boys, if I'm not mistaken. You might remember me. That was a long time ago when Adam was a little boy in khaki shorts. So I'll be listening and within, you know, I always admired his athletic career, you know, when he represented Trinidad and Tobago. And so anyway, just wanted to say hello to you guys.
Yeah, man. Thanks much.
Maybe sometime soon before I talk to you all again. So God bless. I'll talk to you all.
All right, Ron.
Hopefully soon again. Cheers.
Yeah, okay, no problem. Thanks very much, Virginia.
Ron,
you know, also see the story, but I think when I was read it in the headlines about the appointment for your driver's license.
Mm-hmm.
So you can now go within that 3-month window to renew your driver's license, apparently.
Yes.
I saw somebody had posted it just the day before, where he had gone and had to pay $1,000 or something like that for being over the date. And they were telling him, I think he could not have come, I can't remember if it was in a week or a month time or something like that. But I see it has now been extended to 3 months.
But to me, it's a good decision. It's the second best decision in the sense of accommodating people in renewing their license. Of course, the best decision is not to charge people if they are a little late. 3 months after.
Yeah.
You know, they shouldn't charge people, and maybe for 3 months after. But do it 3 months before, to me, is a good decision. Allowing people to renew 3 months before. And they still haven't, even though we have spoken to the commissioner, commissioner? Yeah. The transport commissioner several times. They still have not updated people who are over 70 and stuff like that, and 65, 70. They still have not updated the acquisition or renewal of licenses for those people in alignment with what happens internationally, even though we brought it up both times. And what has got me is all the prime ministers we have are set of old fogies, all of them in that age bracket. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. So, and not only that, get this, you know you can renew your license online, right? You know you can renew.
Somebody said that one day, and we weren't sure.
You can. I've gone through the process. You can.
Mm-hmm.
You can renew it online, and they will deliver it to you. And when the courier comes, you hand in your old passport. Your old driver's permit.
License.
But guess who can't renew it online? Older people. Because they have no fee. Because they have no fee to pay. Somehow they can't work out how to not put in no fee in the process.
Oh dear.
And uploading. I think older people have to upload a medical, which you should be able to upload. Older people have to go in the line and go to a physical office, but everybody else can renew it online. Isn't that crazy?
Mm-hmm. All right, let's just take this call before we go to the details. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Hi, good morning. Go ahead.
Yes. I always wonder why the UNC always talks corruption loud to the top of the roof, but they don't ever produce any evidence. This Minister Mohit shouting about corruption at the Children's Authority, and you will never hear any evidence produced. So there's only talk corruption, but they can't prove that there's corruption. So that is why it continues under the UNC, because there's only talk it and they can't prove it. Have a good morning.
All right. Of course, our poll is up, people. Should the government explain the removal of the radar in Tobago? Because they did come and tell us when it came, why it was there and so on. They did explain the installation of it. But should they now explain the removal of the radar in Tobago? All right? Yes or no? That's our poll this morning. All right? That's...
Interesting. All right, so we're going for the news at 7 o'clock. Stay with us, and we will be back.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is Net Radio News Now.
This is News Now for Tuesday, the 17th of March, on New Era TT Radio and Gael Caribbean TV. I am Derek McMillan. Thank you for joining us, everybody. The United States supplied military radar at A.N.R. Robinson International Airport has reportedly been dismantled and will soon be removed from the island. Sources say the ground and air task-oriented radar, which had been stationed in Tobago since November, has already been taken down. A U.S. military aircraft is expected to arrive to transport the equipment. Speaking earlier this week, Farley Augustine said U.S. troops stationed in Tobago would be leaving the island within days, but did not give a specific date. The radar had been deployed under the administration of Prime Minister Kamla Persad Bissessar to assist local authorities in detecting drug trafficking activity in the southern Caribbean, particularly routes linked to Venezuela. The system was reportedly operated by the United States at a cost of about $3 million per day. Economists are warning that the war involving the United States, Israel, and Iran could raise the cost of living in Trinidad and Tobago. Analysts say the conflict has already disrupted shipping through the Strait of Hormuz, a critical route for global oil and gas supplies. Financial analyst Mariano Brown says higher global oil prices could increase the country's fuel import bill, putting pressure on foreign exchange reserves and possibly leading to higher fuel prices or subsidies. He warned that rising energy costs could also push up the prices of imported food and goods, increasing inflation and reducing purchasing power. Meanwhile, Energy Minister Rudal Munalal says higher energy prices could slightly boost government revenue from oil and natural gas exports. However, analysts say if the conflict continues, the negative impact on prices and the wider economy could outweigh those gains. 2 new commercial developments are expanding entertainment and shopping options in Trinidad. A new container-style food park, known as Bagshot Box Park, has officially opened along Saddle Road in Marival. The project, led by businessman Edward Aboud of George Aboud & Sons, transformed 35 repurposed shipping containers into an urban food and entertainment space featuring local food vendors, live entertainment, and family recreation areas. The park sits on the historic Bagshot property, once home to the former Bagshot Hotel, which was demolished in 1999. Meanwhile, a new commercial hub, Icon Plaza, is also expanding along the east-west corridor. Developers say the plaza, located off the Churchill-Roosevelt Highway in the El Socorro South Aranguez area, is designed as a modern shopping and dining center, with several businesses already open and more restaurants and services expected to launch in the coming months. In crime news, police detained dozens of people during an anti-prostitution operation in Cunupia on Sunday. Officers attached to the counter-trafficking unit carried out the exercise at a property along Marshall Trace, where 47 foreign nationals and 7 local women were taken into custody. Police say patrons were also temporarily detained and questioned as part of the operation. In a separate incident, a decomposed body was discovered floating in a pond at Pabaru Quarry along Toko Road on Sunday morning. Police say the remains were found by a watchman but the victim has not yet been identified. Meanwhile, 3 men were shot dead in separate incidents within 6 hours in Port of Spain. The victims have been identified as Romello Edinburgh, Shaquille Woods, and Prince Moses. All 3 shootings occurred in Laventille. In regional news, officials in Cuba have reported an island-wide blackout affecting the country's roughly 11 million residents as its energy crisis deepens. The Ministry of Energy and Mines said there was a complete disconnection of the national electrical system, and investigations are underway. President Miguel Diaz-Canel recently said the island has not received oil shipments in more than 3 months and has been relying on solar power, natural gas, and thermoelectric plants to keep electricity flowing. Officials say thousands of medical procedures have already been postponed due to the energy shortage. The blackout follows another major outage that affected western parts of the island just over a week ago, leaving millions without electricity as the country struggles with fuel shortages and a deteriorating power grid. In crime news, police detained dozens of people during an anti-prostitution operation in Cunupia on Sunday. Officers attached to the counter-trafficking unit carried out the exercise at a property along Marshall Trace, where 47 foreign nationals and 7 local women were taken into custody. Police say patrons were also temporarily detained and questioned as part of the operation. In a separate incident, a decomposed body was discovered floating in a pond at Pabaru Quarry along Toko Road on Sunday morning. Police say the remains were found by a watchman, but the victim has not yet been identified. Meanwhile, 3 men were shot dead in separate incidents within 6 hours in Port of Spain. The victims have been identified as Romello Edinburgh, Shaquille Woods, and Prince Moses. All 3 shootings occurred in Laventille. And that's news to this hour. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody.
That was news now. Stay informed with new Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Your mid-morning just got better. Join Sir Charles for the mid-morning mix and mingle, where good music, real talk, health, and family matters come together, and your voice is heard. Whether you're at work, on the go, or just taking a break, this is the perfect mix to keep you engaged, informed, and entertained. The mid-morning mix and mingle, weekdays, 9 a.m. to 12 noon on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Morning vibes, fresh energy. This is the Net Radio Breakfast Show.
Some of them don't like me, some of them just fight me, some of them wish bad on me, all of them could go their way, some of them just back talk me. I don't know, but I couldn't care less. All of them could rock so, rock so, rock so. You could rock so. Stay over there with your bad energy. You could rock so, rock so. You could rock so. Stay over there with your bad energy. You could rock so. Live my life. I just wanna live my life, and I don't make my choice. So I go pay the price. Yeah, live my life. Just live my life. Yeah, don't make a choice. So I go pay the price. Some of them don't rate me. Some of them they hate me. Some of them like bad on me. All of them could go their way. Some of them try laugh at me like I'm a puppy show, but I couldn't care less. All of them could rock so, rock so. Stay over there with your bad energy. You could rock so, rock so. You could rock so. Stay over there with your bad energy. You could rock so. Live my life. I just wanna live my life, and I don't make my choice. So I go pay the price. Yeah, live my life. Just live my life. Yeah, I don't make my choice. So I go pay the price. Yeah, we thankful for life, health and strength and all the vibes. Don't know we survive. We We just wanna get we slice. Some fall with the vice, with them evil eyes. Risk it for the price. We don't need the price.
Morning just got better. You're locked into NETT Radio Breakfast Show, fueling your day with the best music and real talk.
Well, if you didn't know, now you know what to do, right? When they come with the bad vibes and bad energy, just tell them, well, you rock so. Rock so. Good morning to you once again, everybody, and of course, we welcome you inside the second hour of the breakfast show. Right here on New Era TT Radio, NETT Radio, taking you above and beyond. We are the heartbeat of the Caribbean. Those of you that came in very early, good morning once again. Those that came in along the way, and I know you're going to stay with us all throughout the day. It's greatly appreciated your company, right? Let me also say good morning to the folks on Gael Caribbean TV. Good morning to Gael people streaming up and down the Caribbean and in some parts of North America also. So good day to you. Programming note for you, just to let you know that when we come off of the Gael feed and social media platforms at around 8:30 in that area there, you can just switch across. Know those words, right? Switch across, come across to www.newerattradio.com, and you can listen to us all day and every day. Also, New Era TT Radio, you get us on TuneIn. That way you'll be able to get us inside of your Alexa and Google devices, right? And I'm working on some stuff to try to simplify that movement for you guys. So like, subscribe, follow the channels, and of course don't forget to hit our donate support button. And stay with us on the net. Of course, our morning poll, yeah? Now that the radar has been removed from Tobago, do you think that the government should explain why they moved the radar? Isn't that nice? So you're voting yes or no? And when I come back, we'll tell you how you voted, right? Of course, on the other side of the poll, we're talking with N3A's President Ephraim Serrette. I tell you, that should be a good one. I'm actually looking forward to that interview. So stay with us and we will be back shortly, people.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box. Now, due to phenomenal public demand, Scandal in Cedrus now comes to Cipriani College for 2 nights only. Saturday the 28th of March at 8:30 p.m. and Sunday the 29th at 6:30 p.m. This is theater at its finest and funniest. Don't miss it. Box office opens at Cipriani College on Monday the 23rd of March, 12 noon to 6 p.m. daily. Tickets available now at usual outlets and online. Scandal in Cedrus, Cipriani College, we come in.
Scandal in Cedrus.
Save more now at Furniture Plus. Get a pair of pillows for only $49, queen mattresses from $7.99, free gifts with select purchases, plus extra discounts on higher purchase plans. Hurry, visit any Furniture Plus showroom today.
For God shall wipe away, yes sir, every tear from the eye. Yes sir, get ready.
TNT, get ready for Kirk Franklin in concert. Prisoners No More. We meet at the Queen's Park Oval on March 21st for an unforgettable evening of revival and renewal with Kirk Franklin and his full band.
Revolution. Come on, do you want a revolution?
And Trin Tobago's top gospel artists, Jaron Nurse, Gates Praise, Blessed Messenger, St. Anthony's Music Ministry, and Darren Sandy.
But there is no sunshine.
Early bird tickets are sold out. General, kids, VIP, group, and cabana tickets available at accesstix.com. Acker restaurants nationwide, Maranatha bookstores, Living Water Community, Santa Rosa Bookshop, Arima, St. Anthony's, RC Church, Point Fortin, Sky 99.5 FM, CNC3, and the Big Board Company are the official media partners. Endorsed by Catholic TT and the Ministry of Culture and Community Development. Kirk Franklin is coming to TNT.
Advertise with us on New Era TT Radio, the fastest growing streaming platform for talk in Trinidad and Tobago. Audio and video ads welcome. Elevate your brand with us. Connect with us at newerattradio@yahoo.com or call us at 299-5156. Now what are you waiting for?
Cipriani Labour College, get ready for
Two Fat Fellas.
Saturday the 21st and Sunday the 22nd of March.
Cipriani Labour College, 2 nights only.
Two Fat Fellas stars, Cecilia, Penny, Kevon, Zachary, Rachel, and Rody.
Tickets available at Dorman Shoe Store, Long Circular Mall, Anthony's Floral Val Park, Electronics Arima, K-Square Stores, Eastgate Mall, Brentwood Plaza, C3 Center, and the Falls at West Mall. CLR box office opens on the 19th of March. And islandetickets.com. For more info, call 683-4843 or 683-0356.
Two Fat Fellas.
Join me, Brother David Muhammad, every Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. here on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio, Powerful Radio. Join me to hear knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Tuesdays, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. here on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Okay, everybody, so we are back inside of the 7 o'clock hour, and just to give you a time check to make sure we keep you always in check with time, it is now 17 minutes past the hour of 7 o'clock. So if you know you're running a little bit behind, you need to pick it up right about now. Yeah?
Like my son, who always running behind time.
I'd have some habitual people who just function by not being on time and thing, you know.
You tell me about it. I lived with it for many a year. That's why we ended up using I talk enough about my business sometimes, yes. But yeah, I suffered from that for years and years and years. That habitual lateness. Oh Lord. Frustrating, because I am almost never late. You understand? I am almost never late.
I myself, I try not to be late.
Yeah, and you're going to get a call from me or a message from me saying I'm running a bit late or I'm 5 minutes out. You're going to get that kind of message from me, but I'm almost never late for anything.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, our poll is: should the government explain the removal of the radar in Tobago? Yes or no? So we will count the poll now. Of course, our guest in a few minutes will be Ephraim Serrette, president of the NAAATT, the National Amateur Athletic Association of Trinidad and Tobago. He'll be our guest in a few minutes' time. Already getting questions for you, Ephraim. But let's run through the poll now, to Charles, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, I am very much ready. Yeah.
All right. Eunice Dublin, yes. Joseph Clement, yes. Gregory Boyer, yes. Capi de Nigeria, no. Bernadette Yates, yes. David McCarthy, yes. Eva Smith, yes. Kim Govaya also says, yes, we deserve proper and true explanation. Boy Bidesi, yes. Diane Payne, yes. Jasodra Ramlaka. Jasodra, I agree with this. Caller, everything takes time. When PNM was in opposition, they were only talking about corruption. They were there for more than 9 years. Anyone got arrested. You are absolutely right. That's something I get away with people in the PNM for. Finbar Collins says, yes, in Anti-Cam's voice, we caught all the drugs from the radar. There are no more drugs running through TNT anymore. If you all start back with drugs, I will bring it back.
Good code this morning. Behave on yourself.
Behave on yourself. Yeah. Otherwise, the radar is going to come back. Lester Cragwell says, no, the more explanations the government gives, the more confused the population is left. Ava Smith didn't vote. Anderson Clark says, yes. Beauty Culture say yes, but when they're like, you forget they gave all kind of reasons why after pushback from the public. True. Fran Romani didn't vote. Felix Gazo, yes. Avion Abraham, yes. Margaret Thomas, yes. Margarita Chow, yes. Trini in Boston, yes. Yeah, true. Cheryl. Colted Finch, yes. Ingrid from Tucson, no. Gemma Peters Halls, yes. Robert Taylor, yes. Why are they going on making a whole discussion on Kirk Franklin? My God. Anyway, well, they could continue in the chat. Who else is voting? Estelita Sampson, yes. Cheryl Maraj, yes. Scorpion Pepper, no. Alistair Hart, yes. And Robert Allen, yes. And Fran Romani, yes. Chinny Mill Kitchen, yes. Ooh, that's it, Sir Charles. That's what I have here so far.
All right. All right, so let me check the WhatsApp and see what's going on the WhatsApp. So we have Pauline saying no. Sean saying no. Oh, yeah, right. Zena didn't vote on this one. Sandra Serret says, what Sandra says? Sandra says no. Our name Sandra is Ephraim family. Anyhow, we find out.
There's a Deborah Noel Serret too on the chat.
There are plenty Serret on this family, on this chat. Yeah. Mr. Billy, what is your vote this morning? Oh, Lord, only I'm doing all kind of thing here, man. Mr. Billy didn't vote. Trinidad and Tobago says yes. Frankie Naruka, yes. Judy, I didn't get your vote. Dre says yes. Kenwin says no. Michael says no. Black Pearl says yes. Brenda and Peter says yes. Kurt Edward says yes. And Peter Wilson says yes.
And I have one more no, and by Anon. And Anon, you might be onto something there. He says we all seen how Iran eliminating USA throughout systems. And you know, as you say that, Anon, I thought maybe one of the things the Prime Minister tell the US people is that, hey, move that radar from my place, please, before you make Iran target us. Maybe the Prime Minister is the one who caused that, who say, hey, get that radar out of Tobago before they send a missile our way, or before somebody come up with something to think. Take it away from it and don't make us a target.
So we afraid Iran more than Venezuela, who was closer to us?
Well, Venezuela clearly boiled down like Baji, eh? They're like mice over there now, eh?
Wow, my word.
So,
Trinidad, but just don't know.
Sir Charles, I don't mean to, no, I shouldn't say what I want to say. But I think Iranian people might actually be a little more fearful or fearless is the word I want, than Venezuelan people, right?
And I think
the world, they back in Trump from and Israel from all quarters, eh? You see that, right?
And I believe they are feared by the world more than anybody else, by the people of the world. Because remember, just the other day I was asking a question as to how everybody is basically openly challenge the Bible and put all kind of memes and all kind of thing about the Bible, and you don't see them doing the same thing for the Quran.
No.
Remember we were talking that.
You forget history has it when a certain he was a French author, right?
Right. So that's what. So they are feared people. You know, so people. So while you on see social media, you see all kind of things challenging the Bible. This, that, the Bible is this, the Bible is that, the Bible is playbook and all different kinds of things. You don't see them challenging the Quran and thing that way.
No.
You know, nobody puts their face or their name on social media and challenge the Quran. So clearly.
Yeah, history has shown that all fanatics, regardless of which religion they follow, could be vicious. All fanatics could be vicious. You understand?
Yeah, but people on their faith and
Islamic fanatics different. Let's put it that way. And the history has shown that over and over again.
You understand?
That's the guy name I was looking for. Rena.
Salman Rushdie. Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you understand? So
he had to hide until he died,
yeah, because he was thing with blaspheming the Quran. He put up those things, you know, and that was the end of Salman Rushdie. You know, and since then, as I said, everybody challenges all kind of things they see in the other books. They don't challenge that. So I can understand that fear of people. But the poll, 48 people on the poll this morning, and 40 of you said yes, they think that the government should explain, and 8 of you said no, they don't think they should explain.
All right, that's it. It's all right. Getting a lot of advice on immigration matters, but none from any immigration officer.
And that is what you need.
So is an immigration officer I need to advise me how to urgently get a passport appointment and thing. People are advising me walking. But if you have an appointment when you're entering the passport office, not so. You have to prove that you have an appointment, not so.
It's funny, you know. I said this place kind of jokey and different, you know. So, but don't worry, man. Somebody will call you. Somebody knows somebody. Somebody will call you and sort out your situations for you.
Yeah, well, I hope so.
I hope so too.
I hope so because I need it sorted out. As I say, my passport is not expiring until next year, but because of a certain situation, I have to get it renewed right away.
Wow.
You know?
That's a thing. All right, well, our guest is here, so let's get into our Let's Talk segment.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Hi, good morning, Mr. Serret. On your mic. Your microphone off. We seen you talking, but we're not hearing you.
Yeah, right. I think he's getting there now.
We still not hearing you.
Yeah, we're still not picking him up.
You just silence your mic. I think you might have to come out and go out and come back in. Maybe you didn't give permission for your microphone to be on.
Or check on your computer and see if there isn't a mute button also on your laptop or anything that is preventing that from coming through. Sometimes that does interfere with this stuff too, because he is unmuted right now, but we're just not hearing him.
I see. Whilst Ephraim sorts out his... Ephraim, you might have to jump out. Let's Charles advise you how to do it. You might have to come out and come back in. I see. But in the meantime, I see somebody put up on the chat that they'd be glad to assist me. I'm assuming they're connected with immigration. So you could... How could I get onto you, boy? I mean, I could say my number, you know. Everybody knows my number, except when I get fed up, I just block here. Let's know that, right? My number is 681, Mr. McCarthy, David McCarthy. I'm going to tell you my number, right? If you're listening, 681-7852. Most of these people here know my number anyway. It's 681-7852, right? You could message me or call me and tell me how to do it because it's kind of very urgent, right? Thank you. All right. Ephraim, have you back?
Are you hearing us any better now? Let's see if we're hearing you now.
He's hearing us, you know, but we are not hearing him.
Yeah. Wow.
All right. How do we fix this, Sir Charles?
I don't know how to fix it because I don't know what they're using on their end. It has to do something with their microphone, either level. If its microphone is muted, one way or the other,
Unless it's your headphones, I thought about that, Fran Romani. And from it might be your headphones. You could take them off and listen directly from your phone or your laptop if you're using your laptop or your phone, right?
Yeah, because if you're using like the headphones with the microphone and they're shorting in any way like that.
Yeah. Take off your headphones.
That kind of problem. So we are trying to see for our guests.
Ephraim could run, but he can't operate thing. Run good and run fast and run organization, but he can't run the laptop.
But
so Charles, if there's anything we could call him, you have his number?
Actually, no, I don't. Send it to me now.
I'm going to send it in the chat now, right?
Yeah.
So if there's anything, we call him. But I mean, I'm sure a lot of people are looking forward to seeing him. But if in the absence of that, we don't want the interview to drop, not to happen. So we could probably call him. Or you could call him and advise him what to do. Because it has to be something with the system. Because we're seeing him and he's hearing us, but we are not hearing him.
Yeah.
Right? So whilst Charles does that,
are you making any progress here?
Yes, I'm back. I think.
Oh, right.
You're using your phone now?
Yeah, I use my phone. I think it's the phone.
I figured that's what happened. Yeah. The laptop didn't have it. You need to update your laptop.
As soon as you send the funding.
Well, let's start. Look at how you start the interview. Let's start the interview from right there.
Yeah.
Morning. Anyway.
Yeah, morning, and thanks for the invitation and to your listening public. It's always a pleasure.
Thanks for joining us. How is the entry is funded?
Right. The entry is like any other national governing body, depends on the government, the Ministry of Sport, or there are 15 NGBs that are under the Sport Company of Trinidad and Tobago. For us, unlike football, athletics, we don't get funding from the international governing body, which is World Athletics. In the past, we used to get just a $25,000 US for office administration, but now they just giving minor projects with assistant projects. Over the last 20 to 25 years, we were very fortunate to have NGC on board as a development partner. So all our development projects were funded through NGC. Everything else, championships, all the other projects or any other competitions, we had to seek sponsorship, which in Trinidad and Tobago is very difficult.
So is it that NGC is no longer helping out with the entries?
No, well, we would, just like these steel bands, when they would have parted way with steel bands, I think we would have be part of that as well.
Oh.
So we are no longer sponsored by NGC.
What about the sport fund that comes through the office of the Prime Minister? Was that ever available?
Well, that is available for when we had Carifta Games last year. For those types of projects, you would have gone to the Sports and Culture Fund, and that's a fund you cannot go annually. You have to miss a year before you can go back and source funding from them.
Okay. So is that available this year then? Because we've had Carifta Games for the last year.
That was last year. Carifta was last year, so we may have to skip this year, or I don't know if any policies have changed, because I know they would have had a new board, and I'm not sure whether they got the instruments as yet. Mm-hmm. But we are guided when the board is in place.
So you have to go through the Sport TT board before you go to anywhere else?
Not really, but we depend on Sport TT. So we will get funding from Sport TT for high-end. So let's say Carifta Games. We will get funding from Sport TT for those games. So competitions, going to competitions, we would have sent in our requests to Sport TT, and with that we have to prioritize which competitions are more important. Although all are important. So like we have World Indoors that is going to take place from Friday this week. We have 4 athletes out there. We have Carifta Games. You also have the NAAATT under 18 and under 23. And we also have the World Junior Championships in Oregon later this year. This year, we also have Commonwealth Games and CAC Games, but that's under the auspices of the Olympic Committee. So the funding for that does not fall under us. So the Olympic Committee would source that funding from government for those teams.
Yeah. So then what is the nexus then between the entries and the Olympic Committee?
Well, so when they, like Commonwealth Games, they would indicate the competition, the events, or the competitions that they would be sending teams. So people would qualify, cycling, or the different hockey, athletics. Whereas athletics, we would submit we normally send a long list, and when the team is finalized, we do that, just trim down to the final team. They would then, we'd have to provide them with all the necessary information, and they would make all travel information. They would see about travel, they would see about the accommodation and all these things. So that's how it works. We work closely with the Olympic body.
Yeah. In terms of private funding, Ephraim, how is that source, and is that, I mean, you could make your plea this morning too, because we have a lot of people on this who listen to us and who watch us from all over the world, actually, who might want to contribute.
So what we do is we develop proposals. So that we would develop proposals and send it to potential sponsors, and they would decide whether or not they want to be involved with a sport of athletics. Now, although athletics is the most successful sport in Trinidad and Tobago, of the 19 Olympic medalists, track and field is responsible for 15. We are not as popular as football and cricket. So, and in Trinidad and Tobago, I don't think we have identified a national sport. Depends on where you ask the question, you could get a different answer. So we are not as popular as those sports. So we, tend to not get that kind of support when we reach out. And I say we were very thankful for the past 20 years to have NCC on board as our development partner. And that's one of the things, I think most of the NGBs have that issue where funding comes from government for high performance, no funding for development. So how do you get to high performance? So that no funding at all comes from government for development. So, that's where we have to go and source funding for the development, any development program, any like our championships and all these things. We have to go seek sponsorship to execute those events.
You said something just now that triggered, and I'm sure a lot of people also, it triggered something in people's mind, that athletics at the end of the day has put Trinidad and Tobago on this map more than any other sport. Outside of the Brian Lara and the Dwight York, athletics have put us on the map indelibly. And so why is there this avoidance to assist the athletic committees?
Well, I'm not too sure, but I know before my time in earlier days, some of the NGBs are always in the news for the wrong things. But I must say, under my watch, we have never been in the news for any mismanagement and not preparing audited statements, because that when I came on board in 2000 and 2003, or became president in 2005. I mean, that's one of my pet peeves. My background is accounting, so that audited statements were a must. So I always pay attention where that is concerned to ensure that we comply with those things. So we always in compliance. With the Sport TT, we always in compliance. But the thing is, funding for development, sometimes they cap you But I know that that's just based on what they would tell the unit. You have 20 million to work with. So what they do is they do a mathematical exercise and say, okay, athletics will get X, hockey will get Y, who would get what, in order to come up to the whatever figure they were given to work with. So it's not to say that, we would be asking for a particular amount of funding, but then it is not really readily available. I mean, at this time, I would really like to thank the minister because I had an audience with him concerning the World Indoor Championships, the importance, because Jereem is out there at that competition, and had a conversation concerning Carifta, which is one of our major development programs. Now, Carifta, if I should share, was birthed in Trinidad and Tobago by one Dr. Jesse Noel and Roy Raphael back in 1971. The games weren't held here because of, again, the financial situation. So they would have reached out to one Austin Seeley in Barbados, who was a banker. So in 1972, the games came off in Barbados. In 73, it was at the Queen's Park Oval in Trinidad and Tobago. So this Carifta Games, I mean, it is touted to be the best junior competition in the world. All scouts from the U.S. colleges attend these games in order to recruit athletes for their schools. Shelley and Fraser Price, Usain Bolt, and from Trinidad and Tobago, Kellyanne, Jereem, we can go on. Athletes who would have passed through the Carifta Games. The competition is one of this, as the president of World Athletics, Lord Sebastian Coe, does not miss these games. It's the most exciting and the very competitive event we have in the world. And then when you have the rivalry between the various countries, so you would have the little Pekong who have I already received information from Barbados. They have a 13-year-old running 48 points, and it's bring a lot of excitement to the games. So the games is very important to development of the athletics in Trinidad and Tobago. So this year we have a large team, 74 athletes, 18 officials. One of the good things is that we would have reached out to Caribbean Airlines very early. We did a comparative analysis with trying to get individual flights or whether we should do a charter. So we were successful in getting the charter up, which would take the entire team. There's a Trinidad and Tobago Track and Field Supporters Association who parents and all the other track and field supporters, enthusiasts, they are involved. So we have a lot of them who will be traveling on the charter with the team to Grenada to support the athletes, which is a plus, because if I'm to go back to my time, Carifta, you won't even see a Trinidad and Tobago flag in the stands. So that, and even that, I could share my first Carifta team in the airport, the team was cut. So the officers would have come to the airport and indicate that they didn't get sufficient funding and athletes had to go back home.
At the airport?
At the airport, yeah. Those were the stories back then, and even the uniforms. I mean, we are very fortunate now to have an apparel thing with Puma. And back then you would have gotten uniforms out of a toilet paper box in the airport, the uniforms that people would have worn before. When they come back, it is there for you to put back the uniform. So, I always try to explain to these young artists how fortunate they are to have, the uniform. I mean, it brings a joy to my heart when I see uniforms that are being distributed. There are travel bag, backpack, hat, slippers, just about everything that they get. So we have come a long way, but more is need to be done where the supporting for the development of the sport. Unlike Jamaica's system is a school system. I know Bahamas would have tried it. It's not working for them. In Trinidad and Tobago, we have a club system. Some clubs are aligned to schools. So just like how the U.S. coaches from collegiates come to Carifta to recruit, we have coaches here looking at the schools. They'll go to school meets and recruit athletes for the various clubs. Even parents will be coming to meets and seeing how some of the clubs are organized and how the athletes performing, and would look to. It's almost like SEA, or a child to go either Fatima St. Mary's or, that kind of thing. So that's how it goes with the clubs. So that, it is, I mean, for me, I don't get paid for this. This is a passion of mine for what the sport has done for me. I was afforded a government scholarship and went out, and I always consider myself as a government child because I went to government primary school, government secondary school, and all my tertiary level education has been from government scholarships, with the exception of one, which was a Commonwealth Secretariat. So, and came back to Trinidad, worked in the public sector, so contributed to public sector development and sport. Yeah. And it's just, when you grow up with parents like mine and, you're being funded by government to study, you have to come back. You have to come back and contribute. So, yes. So it's just that. And I love, I have a passion. I know what the sport would have done for me coming out of MOVA. They don't talk about the good that come out of some of these areas. They just refer to the negative. But even coming back home, my parents was like, "You're going back to," I say, "But I am known in MOVA. It has Serret Street in MOVA. Okay, where are you going to live? What else are you going to live with people they know you, So, it's just my passion. And I enjoy seeing the young athletes come up and, how they compete. And the Carifta Games is a big thing for them. It's a big thing for them.
How does it cost the child, or should say the parent, anything at all when they have to attend?
Under my what's in track and field. Prior, in earlier times, athletes used to have A and B standards and people had to pay. Unlike swimming and some of the other sports, gymnastics and other sports, athletes selected to represent Trinidad and Tobago, as far we are concerned as a board, should not have to pay to represent Trinidad and Tobago. So everything is taken care of for the athletes when they are selected to represent Trinidad and Tobago under the National Association of Athletics Administration. I know you mentioned amateur just now. The amateur out of the sport. They don't know amateur again. So, but we maintain the AAAs and just say National Association of Athletics Administrations. So
thanks for that correction.
Right. So under our board, there's we say we cannot have people going to represent Trinidad and Tobago and then they have to come out of pocket. So that does not happen. So like when we do the budget for the airfare is taken care of. With the Carifta Games, there's a levy they call that the Carifta family would have agreed to. So the host country would have to negotiate with the hotels in the host country. And what happens is that each country is required to pay a small amount, 50 US per athlete, for accommodation. So that levy takes care to help the host country with other stuff. So countries like last year the games hosted in Trinidad and Tobago, the region loved to come to Trinidad and Tobago. The hospitality, staying at the Hyatt and the Radisson, 5 minutes away from the stadium, what we call the Carifta family, which would be like the presidents and the general secretaries. We had them stay at the Brits, and they enjoy walking down to the savannah to get food in the savannah, and that kind of thing. But they always enjoy coming to Trinidad and Tobago. Grenada, who would have held the games 2 years ago, 24, is always a logistic nightmare. So that you would have at least 14 different accommodations, so that, and then the smaller countries, and I think that's why that's what they like coming to Trinidad and Tobago for, is that they stay in hotels, so that you'll find the bigger countries, when you go to the other countries, may stay in the big hotels, and the smaller countries, because of the numbers, they may be in guest houses here, there, and everywhere. And they always voice, the satisfaction about that. But when you come to Trinidad, it's either Radisson or Hyatt, and
living large.
Yes, they love that. They love that. So, it's a labor of love. I mean, the board is a thankless job. Nobody's paid for this, and all you get is ridicule. So that people would hear the normal, the thief in the money. I don't know what money it is, the thief, but but people need, they only repeat what they hear, and they would not investigate or try to come and understand how the association operates.
Yeah. The issue of course, how many, I know you mentioned earlier on that you all would have secured a chartered flight and so on. How many athletes do we have in the contingent itself?
This year's contingent is comprises of 74 athletes. And with athletes, we have to have sufficient coaches to man the team, so the different disciplines, sprints and hurdles, middle and long, throws, jumps, and that kind of stuff. Medical. So we always take a medical team. We thanks to Dr. Anil Gopi Singh, who always volunteer to be part of our medical team. So we have 74 athletes and 18 officials accompanying the team to Grenada this year.
All right, excellent. Guys, you all have any questions?
What I want to find out,
seem like a hog in the whole interview.
what is the quality and the pool of the athletes these days, and how it is selected compared to in the past? Are we still finding it difficult to find athletes that are of that international standard? How is it for us now?
All right, so for the Carifta Games, unlike Olympics and World Championships, there are no set standards, but the individual countries develop their own standards to select athletes to go and represent the country. So we would look each year. We would look at performances from the previous year or years, and try to come up with a middle time based on the performances. Now, it's not every year you'll have a Darrell Brown or a Usain Bolt, that kind of thing. Those kind of exceptional athletes. So that we work on that and try to come up with a reasonable standard that would get an athlete to a final. And once you get there, anything can happen to get to the podium. I know earlier this year, what we do, we set the standards and then we take it to the general account membership for approval. There are some coaches think that we set too high standards, and everybody always have their own opinion. But after going through that process, and then we looking at the performances of the athletes, it seemed that we set standards too low, because the athletes really came out this year and really they are performing. I was very happy with some of the performances that I saw at the trials. So we would have our trials normally, which is about a month before the games. So our trials would have been at the end of February, early March, to give the management team sufficient time to prepare the athletes. So there was some exceptional performance. I know people like Eden Chiwa, who is turning 15 this year, under 17, and running 23, 8, and 54 in the 400, which is exceptional. Unfortunately, we had Zacchaeus Frank, who would have run 46.6, but he's injured. He got injured. We have the under 17. We have Jaden Goodridge running 10.5. So we are seeing some good performances by the athletes. The thing is for them to remain healthy and go out there and replicate the performances here, because with the technology. Back in our days, we didn't know who running what where, but these days people go in, they're looking at the Jamaican trials, they're looking at who trials. So sometimes they defeat themselves before they leave here when they're looking at performances of other athletes elsewhere. And for me, when I was competing, if somebody did a fantastic time, then they had to do it to beat me. So, but our athletes now, a lot of them tend to defeat themselves before they get to the competition by looking at results from other countries and these things. You have to go there and you have to put your stamp there and let everybody know why you're here. But It's a whole psychological thing.
Yeah.
You know what I wanted to ask? In terms of the Jamaican structure with regard to athletics, and I know Trinidad and Tobago has been behind, I think, the Jamaican structure and how they look at their athletics, and from junior to senior and the success they have had. How far behind is Trinidad now? I know they have always been the leader. Does Jamaica continue to be the leader? And has Trinidad caught up at any level in terms of the structure they have?
So I don't like to make the comparisons.
I like to make it because I always want Trinidad and Tobago to be the best.
No, just what? Yeah, but what I'm saying is Jamaica.
Richard, take off the mic.
Yeah, the Jamaica system is over 100 years old, right? In Trinidad and Tobago, and I'll age myself here. When sport was a department in the Ministry of Education, it used to be much better. So sport now on a ministry in itself, education by itself. So you have sport going on in school, and sport in a ministry, sport ministry, and talking to education together sport. That's one of the things we have to sort out, right? But with the comparison, Jamaica continues to top the medal tally at the Caribbean Games, but it is coming down because other countries, even for Trinidad and Tobago over the years would have been second, Bahamas third. So even in the case of Trinidad and Tobago, Bahamas, the smaller countries are also edging in and reducing those figures for Jamaica, for Trinidad, as well as for Bahamas, who are most of the times the top three countries, and some other times maybe Barbados. So the catch-up is, I mean, when you look at boys and girls champs in Jamaica, compared to, we had Carifta here last year, we barely managed to fill the covered stands area. Boys and girls champs in Jamaica, the stadium full. You could say that's the national sport, and people go out, they support the schools and those things. We see it here to a lesser extent in football. People go on intercall and they go and support the school and still can't fill the stadium. So in Trinidad and Tobago, we are not serious about sport. And I could say that. We're not serious about sport. And as Wendell would have indicated earlier, when we travel, I said, where are you from? Trinidad and Tobago. They don't know no prime minister, they know no minister, they know nobody, It's Trinidad and Tobago, Brian Lara, York, Easy Crawford, Atobolan, Jerry Richard, Marshall Montano. So they know sport and they know the culture of people. And sport and culture, when a budget is read, the smallest part of the pie goes to sport. The smallest part of the pie goes to sport. So we really don't have anything to work with when we talk about development. I mentioned earlier, no funding comes from government for development. I would have functioned as a consultant to sport, TT, developing, working with the 15 NGBs under sport to help them come up with a program looking at communities, looking at schools, for the NGBs to go there to build sport, and budgeted that. And it's on a shelf somewhere, shelf 13 or some kind of thing somewhere. It's just not happening. We're not serious about sport.
Yeah, and the crowd and the amount of people who go out to support these young people is testament to that. It's proof to that.
It is. One of our biggest or largest crowd for our championships. So we have juvenile championships, which is from under 15 go down. Then we have the junior championships, and then we have open. Well, this year we are doing the open and junior together because of funding issues. We can't have two events to get sponsorship and the funding. Would you believe that the juvenile championships, which are the younger ones, you get a bigger turnout? And you know why? Mommy, daddy, auntie, granny, everybody want to come to see, their run. When they reach to that next level, you don't get that whole big bandwagon is not following.
Yes.
Unless they're doing, real good. But the juveniles, a lot of people come out to watch the younger ones compete.
Right.
Friend, how does it feel as an individual? As you mentioned just now, you go through a process. They ask you to come to go through a process. And as I said, when you complete that process, it sits on a shelf somewhere. And I'm asking that because it is not just with you at sport. Everybody in it seems like I've talked to people in social development, in other spheres, in education, who have gone through that same thing. How does that make people feel when you are part of something that you put your heart into, spend all your time, and nothing comes out of it?
Well, it's something that I've become accustomed to. I mean, as I said, I had over 35 years in the public sector. So I would have worked on numerous projects, make recommendations, and that's what happened. It just, the political will to move those things forward is never there. It's never there.
How do we get past that?
Well, the thing is, we have to be serious about what we're doing. We have to really want to support, what we're doing, and to see us get better. I mean, under NGC, I would have created, the board would have created a project called a UT Lead program. So we wanted to pilot that with at least 10 athletes. The program was 5 athletes, 5 male, 5 female, and to ensure we get the various disciplines, so we don't say, it's biased towards sprints and that. So we had field athletes as well as sprints and middle and long. And the idea behind that was to take these 10 athletes away from home, put them into a particular environment, get them into particular schools, select some coaches to work specifically with them so they could train on mornings, go to school, and you have people working with them, mentoring them, and to see how that would work and then how we would build on that. Again, the culture in Trinidad, parents wouldn't allow their children to leave home to go in such a program, and then we have coaches as well would, unlike football, when you go into a national football team, you're under the guidance of the national football coach. In track and field is a little different. Everybody a little cagey. There's my athlete. And what we do is when we have national coaches in track and field, they are really supervisors. They work closely, or communicate, I should say, with the coaches of the athletes, because you don't want to interfere with somebody's program. So that's how it goes with track and field. So that we have those kind of challenges. So the program was morphed into just the athletes remaining with the clubs. We monitor the performances, and we had some level of success in the program. But again, to get that funding to grow the program, because persons now seeing what was happening, you're getting attention, you're getting assistance for medical, nutrition, and all these things. The other athletes want to get in the program. But when we don't have the resources to expand it, I mean, people like, we had a number of them who would have come through that program. Janedi Gans would have been part of that program. Tyreek Hosford, a number of Andrele Wright, a number of athletes we would have come through that program and transition into the senior, because the program was really to assist those junior athletes 16 to 19 to transition to the senior level, which is very difficult, and even more so for the female. The attrition rate with the females at from the junior to the senior is very high.
Yeah. Ephraim, I have 2 things before we close off, because we after 8 o'clock already. One, is it because we have not been putting the right people in the ministry of sport as ministers, because we have a minister who says she never kick a lime. We have this current minister, I don't know him as anything into sport. We have had several ministers over the years, maybe except for Anil Roberts, who spent a brief time in sports as a minister of sport. We haven't really had ministers of sports who have been sports people. Is that an issue? One. And then the second one is that, because I can't let the program end without raising this concern from a listener, and of course from myself at the last Curfew Trials, this preponderance of horns, vuvuzelas, or whatever it is, that they have in the stadium, those things belong to cricket and football, not athletics, because I saw it how it was distracting athletes. As a matter of fact, it probably caused some false starts, in some instances. If something could be done about that.
All right, so with respect to the minister, I don't think, you don't have to be a doctor. I think you don't have to really be involved in the sport. I think they surround yourself with persons who would be able to advise and you'll really listen to them and to give that guidance. It should be okay. So I don't think it necessarily need to be a sports person, or similarly, Minister of Health is a doctor or whatever it is. But I think once you have the right personnel around you to guide, I think that is, that would help. With respect to the vuvuzelas, that will have a bit of distraction in the development meets, because it is totally different where we have the major championships where you will have a starter pistol, which is much different from the vuvuzela. So there's a challenge with shots, to get the blank shots, so that during the development meets we'll use the horn, similar to what the vuvuzela. So maybe at the development meets we may have to really band it, but in the championship competitions, that horn is not, air horn is not used. So you have an actual pistol. Yeah, so that you cannot it would differentiate from the vuvuzela to what you hear, what they use for the those competitions.
All right. Any closing comments, Ephraim?
Well,
you have the whole athletic world watching this morning.
I just want to thank you for this opportunity, and as the most successful sport, we really need help. When I say need help, financially, because there are a number of things we have to do, in order to prepare our athletes. Programs that we want to work with. Through NGC, we were in primary schools. We had what we call a kids athletics program, which is we would have gone into, some schools, because the resources we had couldn't take us, to all schools. So we would have tried to at least go in all the 7 school districts that we have in Trinidad and identify some schools. I would have done a project back in 2010-11 where I developed a whole structure for a national technical director for track and field, and to replicate in each zone, each school district, a head coach for sprints and hurdles, jumps, all the disciplines, to work in the zones with the primary and secondary schools. Did a costing, but for track and field, we, for cycling, they would pay how much? $1 million for a technical director. Football, similarly, not for athletics. We are not so fortunate. That paper is still there. It's still relevant, but we need that kind of financial resources to really get the sport up and running. And it always, when I I stopped going to school meets, because those who are in clubs, you would identify them, and then those who are not in clubs, and then the teachers just taking these, not preparing them and putting them into events that sometimes you may have a big sprint on your hand, but because you're not understanding what's going on, you put him in 1,500 meters, he gets some stitches, he get hurt, he say, I don't want to go back in that sport. So we will be turning away potential, athletes from when you do that, because we have a batch of PE teachers, and while on PE teachers, we as an association through NGC had a project on to certify primary school teachers, over 100 primary school teachers or more, to go back into the primary school to do the kids athletic program, but it just went on the certificates. On the CVs, it went on the CVs.
For this morning, I know we can take this conversation in so many different
I could talk all day about chocolate.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Not a problem. Thank you for having me on this morning.
Yes, thank you, Ephraim Serret. You did an excellent job, and continue to do an excellent job, and all the best to the team heading out to Grenada in the next couple of weeks. All right?
Yeah. Wow.
Richard?
Yeah, well, we have so many things, but let's go to the news, which is very late, and come back.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is Net Radio News Now.
This is News Now for Tuesday, the 17th of March on New Era TT Radio and Gael Caribbean TV. I am Derek McMillan. Thank you for joining us, everybody. The United States supplied military radar at A.N.R. Robinson International Airport has reportedly been dismantled and will soon be removed from the island. Sources say the ground and air task-oriented radar, which had been stationed in Tobago since November, has already been taken down. A U.S. military aircraft is expected to arrive to transport the equipment. Speaking earlier this week, Farley Augustine said U.S. troops stationed in Tobago would be leaving the island within days, but did not give a specific date. The radar had been deployed under the administration of Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar to assist local authorities in detecting drug trafficking activity in the southern Caribbean, particularly routes linked to Venezuela. The system was reportedly operated by the United States at a cost of about $3 million per day. Economists are warning that the war involving the United States, Israel, and Iran could raise the cost of living in Trinidad and Tobago. Analysts say the conflict has already disrupted shipping through the Strait of Hormuz, a critical route for global oil and gas supplies. Financial analyst Mariano Brown says higher global oil prices could increase the country's fuel import bill, putting pressure on foreign exchange reserves and possibly leading to higher fuel prices or subsidies. He warned that rising energy costs could also push up the prices of imported food and goods, increasing inflation and reducing purchasing power. Meanwhile, Energy Minister Rudal Munalal says higher energy prices could slightly boost government revenue from oil and natural gas exports. However, analysts say if the conflict continues, the negative impact on prices and the wider economy could outweigh those gains. Two new commercial developments are expanding entertainment and shopping options in Trinidad. A new container-style food park, known as Bagshot Box Park, has officially opened along Saddle Road in Marival. The project, led by businessman Edward Aboud of George Aboud & Sons, transformed 35 repurposed shipping containers into an urban food and entertainment space featuring local food vendors, live entertainment, and family recreation areas. The park sits on the historic Bagshot property, once home to the former Bagshot Hotel, which was demolished in 1999. Meanwhile, a new commercial hub, Icon Plaza, is also expanding along the east-west corridor. Developers say the plaza, located off the Churchill-Roosevelt Highway in the El Socorro South Aranguez area, is designed as a modern shopping and dining center, with several businesses already open and more restaurants and services expected to launch in the coming months. In crime news, police detained dozens of people during an anti-prostitution operation in Cunupia on Sunday. Officers attached to the counter-trafficking unit carried out the exercise at a property along Marshall Trace, where 47 foreign nationals and 7 local women were taken into custody. Police say patrons were also temporarily detained and questioned as part of the operation. In a separate incident, a decomposed body was discovered floating in a pond at Pabaru Quarry along Toko Road on Sunday morning. Police say the remains were found by a watchman, but the victim has not yet been identified. Meanwhile, 3 men were shot dead in separate incidents within 6 hours in Port of Spain. The victims have been identified as Romello Edinburgh, Shaquille Woods, and Prince Moses. All 3 shootings occurred in Laventille. In regional news, officials in Cuba have reported an island-wide blackout affecting the country's roughly 11 million residents as its energy crisis deepens. The Ministry of Energy and Mines said there was a complete disconnection of the national electrical system, and investigations are underway. President Miguel Diaz-Canel recently said the island has not received oil shipments in more than 3 months and has been relying on solar power, natural gas, and thermoelectric plants to keep electricity flowing. Officials say thousands of medical procedures have already been postponed due to the energy shortage. The blackout follows another major outage that affected western parts of the island just over a week ago, leaving millions without electricity as the country struggles with fuel shortages and a deteriorating power grid. And that's news to this hour. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody.
That was News Now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
Now, due to phenomenal public demand, Scandal in Cedrus now comes to Cipriani College for 2 nights only. Saturday the 28th of March at 8:30 p.m. and Sunday the 29th at 6:30 p.m. This is theater at its finest and funniest. Don't miss it. Box office opens at Cipriani College on Monday the 23rd of March, 12 noon to 6 p.m. daily. Tickets available now at usual outlets and online. Scandal in Cedrus, Cipriani College, we come in.
Scandal in Cedrus.
Save more now at Furniture Plus. Get a pair of pillows for only $49, queen mattresses from $7.99, free gifts with select purchases, plus extra discounts on higher purchase plans. Hurry, visit any Furniture Plus showroom today.
For God shall wipe away, yes sir, every tear from their eye. Yes sir. Get ready.
TNT, get ready for Kirk Franklin in concert. Prisoners No More. We meet at the Queen's Park Oval on March 21st for an unforgettable evening of revival and renewal with Kirk Franklin and his full band. And Trinbago's top gospel artists, Jaron Nurse, Gates Praise, Blessed Messenger, St. Anthony's Music Ministry, and Darren Sandy.
But there is no sunshine.
Early bird tickets are sold out. General, kids, VIP, group, and cabana tickets available at accesstix.com. Hacker restaurants nationwide, Maranatha bookstores, Living Water Community, Santa Rosa Bookshop, Arima, St. Anthony's, RC Church, Point Fortin, Sky 99.5 FM, CNC3, and the Big Board Company are the official media partners. Endorsed by Catholic TT and the Ministry of Culture and Community Development. Kirk Franklin is coming to TNT.
Advertise with us on New Era TT Radio, the fastest growing streaming platform for talk in Trinidad and Tobago. Audio and video ads welcome. Elevate your brand with us. Connect with us at newerattradio@yahoo.com or call us at 299-5156. Now what are you waiting for?
Cipriani Labor College, get ready for
Two Fat Fellas.
Saturday the 21st and Sunday the 22nd of March.
Cipriani Labor College, 2 nights only.
Two Fat Fellas stars, Cecilia, Penny, Kevon, Zachary, Rachel, and Rody.
Tickets available at Dorman Shoe Store, Long Circular Mall, Anthony's Floral Val Park, Electronics Arima, K-Square Stores, Eastgate Mall, Brentwood Plaza, C3 Center, and the Falls at West Mall. CLR box office opens on the 19th of March. And islandetickets.com. For more info, call 683-4843 or 683-0356.
Two Fat Fellas.
Join me, Brother David Muhammad, every Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. here on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio, Powerful Radio. Join me to hear knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Tuesdays, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. here on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Yeah, yes, it'll have to be before.
And let this one talk.
Kind
of thing, yeah. Ooh, all right.
Right.
Save him from myself then. All right, Evan. With him. And then put it back. Right, so people, we are back. Welcome back to the breakfast show, the final hour. And we are happy to be here with you. It's now 19 minutes past the hour of 8 o'clock. For those of you who are just coming in, and it very interesting interview there with Ephraim Serret in the last hour. I hope that you were able to pick it up because he was identifying a lot of things. But what really struck me is that you have all of these people. It's not just in sport. I've talked with people who contribute to help make the sport or the discipline, or whether it's in health, it's in community development, and all of these persons go out, they form committees and they go out and they do all this sort of work, and then that work just goes on a shelf. And I can't understand for the life of me why it is like that. You know how many reports we probably have sitting on shelves for so many things that could advance Trinidad and Tobago forward. And what is the purpose of commissioning them? Making people take their time, go out, source this energy, this information, and then it's just sitting there doing nothing. Trinidad and Tobago never ceases to amaze me. And when I'm telling myself it will get better, it seems like it's not. All right, so guys, are you back there with us? Wendell, Richard, anybody here? All right.
Guys, sorry, I was on the phone.
Yeah, we heard you part-time. But I muted you, so we didn't hear you for too long.
Oh, okay.
So don't get a heart attack. Don't get a heart attack.
I reached out still to immigration officers. I know whoever David McCarthy is on the chat message to say that he could help. So David, as I said, my number is 681-7852. Call me right after the program and tell me where to go and where to find. Yeah. Today, I will find you wherever you are, or go to any immigration office in the country, except Tobago. I can't jump on a flight to go.
Yeah, I can't go to Tobago just like that.
Yeah.
All right. So let's probably take a couple calls. A couple people are calling as we wind up the session. Caller, good morning to you.
So let's
Yeah. Caller?
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning to you,
Good
caller.
morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
I listened to Mr. Serret this morning, and Mr. Serret is one of my favorite athletes. We were formerly from the same area and so on, right? But he did sport administration. He said something this morning that the Jamaica athletics started over 100 years old, and we know it's now. The athletic revolution in Jamaica started in 1976. When Hazy Crawford won the first sprint, the Caribbean first sprint medalist, won the 100 meters. And the second athlete to win a global sprint athletic medal was Don Corey.
Correct.
Don Corey won silver in the gold in the 100. He won the gold in the 200. Mm-hmm. And Don Corey started the athletic revolution in Jamaica. Right? So we on par. Now, Hazy Crawford in Trinidad and Tobago, we had to wait on generational talent to develop our athlete. So after Hazy Crawford, we had to wait 20 to 30 years to Otto Boland. Then the next 20 years to Richard Thompson. Right? Mm-hmm. Basically, we had to come to the fact that athletics is a grassroots thing, It's zero children. Even fellas who have like Serret and these fellas and them in them athletic clubs who have the passion and the, to give back and so on. And they form the club and they come in there without pay, nothing. Just for the love of the sport and my heart. And we have nothing to get. You can't get nothing from the administration and government to put money and NDC and then give money. So, like the entries and thing now, if we had to drop this one of the A, which is the amateur or anything, and start getting more professional.
It's no longer there. He corrected me with that.
Yeah.
It's no longer amateur.
Stop using it. Yeah, stop using it. Stop using it.
No,
and not only drop it, Not only stopping, They cut out the A and they still have the amateurish approach. Treat sport as a professional, as a business. You follow? And I was a former athlete, and I was in basketball and all kind of same thing going through all the sports and this amateur thing, and you have to beg the government, and the government getting money, and the corporate people in sponsoring all kind. You have to make them sponsor. If you cannot fill the stadium, I used to go and watch all the trials and so on. Yeah, the athletic trials and stuff and thing, right? When you go there, well, apart from the organization and thing, imagine I didn't still go and see one day in character. You're going on the website to find out what the dates and all kind of thing. The thing of it.
Yeah, kind of breaking up.
You're going into a red zone there.
So I decided when I find out, hey, the character on, you only hearing that the week before. There's a character going to be this weekend. There's a character going to be this weekend. You know, seeing on the papers or something, character on this weekend. And that is all right. So when I find out now,
You're breaking up badly, caller.
Yeah.
But what happened in Trinidad there was the trials. Remember, the actual character game is taking place in Grenada Easter weekend. What you saw, what happened in Trinidad were the trials. But I spoke about it on the radio here because I attended. You know, I don't know if he's still listening.
Miss Sampson, good morning.
Good morning, Charles, Wendell, and Richard. People do things in Trinidad for the love of it. And nobody in government, ministers, or wouldn't help pick up the slack. It have children like, say, from Toco who doing so good. You know, they did to travel from Toco to San Fernando just to practice. And they wouldn't even give the parents a little help. You know, it must have some petty cash somewhere for children like coming from quite Cedros Toco to practice quite in San Fernando, like, or they have to go Port of Spain or somewhere else. That is why sports could be the top of the line in the world, you know, but because of the lackadaisical attitude of the government and spending all the money in the wrong place or putting it in the pocket. Speaking about pocket, do you know that the Point Hospital equipment went to Couva Children's Hospital, and the Point Hospital will now be how they call it, a health center. Why we do dismantle an important hospital as Point? When I was doing eye surgery, I went in San Fernando Hospital 4 o'clock in the morning, and there was a guy from Mayaro and a lady from Arima. You need these hospitals here, there, and everywhere. Everybody cannot come to San Fernando. If you so want to fix the hospital, use your money. Why take the equipment from a good working hospital and then to make the hospital a walking clinic? What is going on with these people? Father, take the wheel.
That's what you're talking about.
Is in advance.
Hold up, Miss Sampson. That's what you're talking about. Is whether you know of that?
No.
Yeah, so that is probably a new development that is taking place. So we have to investigate that, Miss Sampson, to find out more about it.
Yes, I find it funny how it's not on the news.
Yeah, because and why the people of that area are not talking about that.
They don't want to protest because of the SOE and people getting locked up. You see anybody protesting? If Dr. Rowley was in office, they might have done Barry Rowley, this Rowley, that Rowley must go. The man go now and we in hell.
No, we don't. We also protesting the idea, Miss Sampson. But don't worry. But there are ways for people to protest. I don't know why they feel that the SOE if you want to come out and protest something that you can't protest it against it, you can walk, you know. Wendell and I could walk on Frederick Street, and Richard and somebody else can walk behind. They can't stop you from doing that.
Zero. But the caller before had raised something that I should have asked Mr. Serret. I wonder what are the former athletes? What is their involvement with the entries and with what's happening? Because Ephraim was clear that our system is a club system here, right? It's not really a school-based system; it's a club-based system. But what are the former athletes, and who have some of them have done pretty well for themselves, what is their contribution back towards these young people? Well, we know what Ephraim's own is, you know what I mean? But we have had several other athletes before Ephraim, since Ephraim, that is. What is their involvement? You know, what have they been doing? You know, I'd like to know.
Yeah. Kola, good morning to you.
Yeah, there's me again. Good morning again.
Boy, Mr. Agantia, wake up now.
Well, boy, yeah. I know drink some coffee. I was listening to Ephraim, they were not right sure because I background and forward in the kitchen organizing something for the wife and things. But listen, what Ephraim is saying, and there's something I always say, a lot of the athletes, when they do and they get good, they don't quietly come back and put back in thing, you know. I can remember Edwin Roberts in the savannah training by our ground from ground by the soundtrack day. And he used to be training with some big hole with the horse and them making in the morning and running. You can remember Edwin Roberts?
Yeah, I remember the name.
Right, well, he's one of the Olympians. He went down Moxley, Edwin Skinner, Ken Bonan, and Butch Frum and them fellas. He went out there. He used to come by me in the market and lie with me and drink a little more beer. That would keep him looking so good. My movie used to have him looking so good. Yeah, clean him out.
All right.
Right? He used to walk over and grocery, come in grocery right across by the market there. Right? But what he said about the clothes, I admire that because a lot of fellas when I get a uniform, they didn't think it and respect it. Because I can remember a girl went out with a run for Trinidad, and when she reached in the airport, the man who was my job, I ain't going anybody there now. For the NR man, he take away the shoes from the girl and the clothes. You know that when you want to follow up a trailer a long time, I have to come out and get back them uniform.
Yeah, the pass back is saying, yeah.
But Ephraim said that, you know. You used to have to put back a uniform in a box.
Yeah, I had to come up with the put back there.
Yeah.
And the thing yesterday, I noticed my case come up in the papers, but we talk about that next time because I know the short for that.
Yeah.
Right.
Your case, you say, no?
Yeah.
You get locked up?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a grand boy. Kola, good morning. You're back with us.
Yeah, gentlemen. I know we have a connection.
The internet was falling out.
Yeah. I was talking about the amateur thing. Now look at something happen. Yeah, look at something happening in the sports, right? Long before Jamaica in Trinidad with Hazy Crawford, right? We used to have organized athletics. We used to have what happened to Hampton Games, Southern Games, Tesoro Games, all these kind of things. And people used to be coming out in the numbers to watch these things, right? We had, when Hazy Crawford was developing, we had top athletes like Williams and Silvio Leonard and all these fellas coming to Trinidad and everybody coming out. When last did we see a top international athlete graze the tracks in Trinidad and Tobago? Right?
You mean a foreign athlete?
Foreign athletes, most of the top athletes is Jamaican, right? And do you know most of our top elite athletes train in Jamaica? There's track club mates of Shelly and Fraser Price and all them, Shelly and Kellyanne Batiste, right? Keston Blenman, all them used to train in Jamaica. So and these are top international recognized names. So if we could get one Otto Bolden, he was Maurice Green, right? If we get these athletes to Trinidad, right, and you feel the stadium when we fill. When them fellas and them win an international athlete, and we have a celebration, a motorcade. The amount of people meeting them in the airport and lining the street and things, more people than in the stadium watching the game. So the interesting thing is there, it's just that they are marketed and promoted properly and stop this, cut out this amateur behavior and begging the government. And the government have the responsibility and thing, right? But they have to take the money and think, could you hold an athletic competition and fill the stadium? That's what we want.
Yeah.
At a price where you will have some revenue. Had the Hampton have about 3-4 meets like the Hampton game, okay, then people stop doing it. Just surrounding no longer here and so on. You have So why don't we players have about 3-4 meets?
Okay. Caller, we gotta go in between there, but thanks very much.
You remember when we used to have Tesoro games?
Yeah, but that
Palo Seco, eh?
Yeah, that's what you're saying. But you see, remember, a lot of those things may have had their own sponsors, so people who were on board.
They had funding for it, yes.
You can't, it's with a lot of these things right now, you don't have much private sponsorship. So that is why they have to depend on whatever they could get from government to do some of these things.
Private
because the private not doing it. And I hear people talk about that whole thing about the culture and love and that sort of things. I don't know, Trinidad and Tobago kind of shift from time gone by, and social media has a part to play with that too. But if you realize the other day they had football and stuff, what they had to do to try to get people in the stadium, not for the love of football, for the love of entertainment and the lime. Yes, you have to do different things to get people to come in the stadium.
That is how T20 cricket came about.
Yeah,
T20 cricket came about because of a liming, a quick match in 4 hours, and a lot of alcohol, a lot of drumming, a lot of music, a lot of partying. That is how T20 cricket got as popular as it got, and filling stadiums all over the world. It's the lime more than anything, Half the people who go into watch a T20 match they know nothing about cricket. They ask me why so much people on the field. Again, asked me at that time, why so much people on the field? I said, I said, it's a cricket match.
Morning, caller.
Morning.
Yeah, well, I say that Trinidad and Tobago, we whole mentality about sports is not only Ephraim Serrette, the whole country. Sports, we need to transform the nation. When the Brazilian coach went to coach Jamaica football team, he talked about transforming the whole nation. Our nation, we not conscious and serious about sports. We need is the whole same point. Children events in the stadium, we had to be full in the stadium, the atmosphere we create in these venues and them. The man talking about the Soro and all of them, the companies, sports develop in Trinidad through the foreign companies who come to Trinidad. All at point and thing. Point is to produce top sports because at the same company come point and build the facility and have the players and them when football we produce all these top footballers. It's through the companies, athletes, everything. We had a top coach in point. Name Peters, he was top in school days. He produced top athletes. But all them things died down now. We had the Tesoro games. We had the Southern games. The company was funding them things. So we now know companies now stepping forward to fund them things. All them companies go on them things die. The state need to step up. We spending about 7 billion on national security. We need to take 2 billion from that 7 billion and invest it in sports. All of that will help crime. Cut down things. Sports will make a healthier nation. We didn't comprehend and understand sports is a big industry. So the state needs FM talk about sports getting the smallest 100 and something million for sports. That's embarrassing. We need to take 2 billion from the national security budget and invest it in sports and transform the whole security and crime thing in the country by they build the pool in Mova and things. What's going on with that pool?
It's green. I passed and watched it the other day. It's green. The water green.
Yeah, same thing in La Joqueta and those places.
That's embarrassing. We need to get sports running, produce top athletes, healthier nation, build the industry. Sports could employ thousands of people when we build sports. So, as I said, the state need to invest in sports. Start today. You invest in all kind of money. You're sending all kind of minister, all kind of delegation away, spending one set of money. Invest that money in sports and help transform the nation and build a healthier nation.
All right, thanks much, Vincent.
To say that to Charles, I remember live sports. You remember? That was the only time real money went into sport, but guess what? It had nothing to do with sports. Live sports. I never forget that. And maybe that is why everybody's so apprehensive again, of a live sport number 2 or live sport number 3, Live sport, a man get $34 million to create some app or program, remember? Remember? It had nothing to do with sports, you know?
Yeah. Anyhow, Wendell, that's where we're going to leave it for this morning. People, thank you so much for listening. But stay with us. Stay with us this morning on the net. Richard's play continues next weekend, not this weekend. This weekend at Cipriani, we have two fat guys or two fat fellas.
This long weekend, Don't forget. This is a long weekend. This weekend
you have two fat fellas at Cipriani, and then next weekend you will have the scandal coming out of Citrus.
And not to me have a scandal. No, just scandal.
Just scandal, right?
Folks, have an absolutely wonderful day. Remember to let go and let God.
Okay. And stay with us on the stream. Remember, after we come off of these social media and streams, you can just come across, just type it, www.NEWERATTRadio.com, and you can stay with us all day. New Era TT Radio on TuneIn, so you can listen to us on your Google and Alexa devices. And we'll join you again tomorrow. So until then, people, this has been
The Breakfast Show.
The Breakfast Show.
Get up, it's the time to start the day. The Breakfast Show is here. We bring in the soca way. Yeah. Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The Breakfast Show got the vibes turned on. From Maracas Bay to the Savannah line, let's start the